I wasn't sure if the White House knew about the FBI raid on Trump's residence at Mar-a-Lago beforehand. I wasn't sure. I'm not sure Biden knows his name half the time. But I was not even sure that the staffers at the White House who really run the show over there knew about the raid. Until yesterday, when White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said the White House didn't know about the raid, which convinced me with 100% certainty that the White House definitely knew about the raid.
Can you tell us anything more? Was he watching the news? Was he scrolling Twitter? Did someone in his staff flag it for him?
I can tell you this: he was not aware of the was it the Mar-a-Lago raid? I don't know what you guys are calling it before it happened.
Humana. I don't know. I don't even know what you guys are calling it. A raid? Yeah, sorry. Never heard that term before. Mara, what now? Donald who? The FB, huh? Sorry, not ringing any bells. Move along. Next question. This woman is such a bad liar. If she had just said, yeah, we didn't know about that. Yeah, that was all the FBI on its own, maybe I would have believed her. But to pretend not to have read about the biggest news story in the country, which pertains to Joe Biden's predecessor and chief rival in the next presidential election, to pretend not to know what a raid is, Karine Jean-Pierre was giving off precisely the same vibes that Hillary Clinton did in 2016 when she tried to play dumb on wiping her email server of classified material.
Under the law, that decision is made by the official. I was the official. I made those decisions.
You were the official in charge. Did you wipe the server?
What, like with a cloth or something? Well, no. I don't know how it works digitally at all. I do not have any.
Wipe the server? Ha ha ha. Like with a cloth? What's a server? What's wiping? What's a cloth? I don't know. And she was obviously guilty as sin. The strategy didn't work because while Hillary Clinton is many things, she's not dumb. And Joe Biden is another story, but even Biden and his lackeys are not nearly as dumb as they play. What we are seeing right now is a systemic strategy of persecuting the ruling party's political opponents. We can say with certainty that this is not going to stop with Trump and with the raid on Mar-a-Lago. We can say that because we already saw it play out, because less than 24 hours after the Mar-a-Lago raid, the FBI confiscated the cell phone of a sitting Republican congressman. Good Ranchers is my absolute favorite meat delivery service, and they are on a mission to donate 100,000 meals to children in need. To help them out, I am offering 10 lucky listeners the chance to win 30 minutes with me, little old me, via Zoom on September 30th, where you can ask me anything. I hope that the topics are all just steak and burger related, but you can ask me anything about anything else you want to. All you got to do is go to goodranchers.com/Knowles, buy a box of meat using my code Knowles, Knowles. You'll get $30 off your order plus free shipping, be automatically entered to win an invitation to this exclusive meet and greet. Get it? Meet and greet. Do you get it? Hurry up right now. The offer is only valid through August 31st. goodranchers.com/Knowles. Meet and greet. With the fireworks around the Mar-a-Lago raid, people have missed the story that took place right afterward, which in some ways is almost more significant. One day after the Mar-a-Lago raid, the FBI confiscated the personal cell phone of Representative Scott Perry. He's a Republican congressman from Pennsylvania. That was while he was traveling on Tuesday with his family. According to Representative Perry, this morning, while traveling with my family, 3 FBI agents visited me and seized my cell phone. They made no attempt to contact my lawyer, who would have made arrangements for them to have my phone if that was their wish. I'm outraged, though not surprised, that the FBI, under the direction of Merrick Garland's DOJ, would seize the phone of a sitting member of Congress. This is approaching the level of a constitutional crisis. I'm not sure that we're quite there yet, but if we're not, we're pretty close. The bureaucracy which is now under the direction of Christopher Wray, who's a DOJ guy. The DOJ is one of the executive agencies under Biden's control, is now going after Republican members of Congress. On what basis? We don't really know for sure, but all of the reporting we've seen is that this has to do with Donald Trump's attempts to cast doubt on the 2020 presidential election. You know, the most secure election ever in human history, where they totally didn't change all the rules beforehand, and where they totally counted the votes on time, and where they definitely didn't violate the state constitutions, and where they didn't obviously rig the damn thing. You know that. If you have any questions about that, if you cast any doubt on the election integrity that we saw in 2020, why, you're an insurrectionist, and the feds have the right to go in and seize the cell phones of sitting members of Congress? Go in and raid the homes of the home of the former president and the presumptive Republican nominee in 2024. I walk into work today. One of my colleagues greets me, says, "Hey, how you doing, Michael?" I say, "Oh, it's another fine day in the Banana Republic." We're descending even further into a Banana Republic. What is going on here? I think a lot of people, especially the squishes, are going to say, "Oh, well, yeah, this is a little weird. It's a little weird for Biden's FBI, highly politicized FBI, highly partisan FBI, to go after the opposition party, members of Congress, and steal their data and steal their cell phones. It's a little weird to be raiding the homes of the former president and the presumptive nominee. It's a little weird, but okay, it's all right. We'll get back to normal. It's totally fine." No, what we are seeing play out in real time is a major power grab and a shift in the way that our political structure works. And that happens. I don't think I'm being conspiratorial here. Of course that happens. Consider the way our government looks today, with the giant bureaucracy and the huge power that the federal government has over the lives of ordinary citizens, and the pretty much non-existent power that the states have vis-a-vis the federal government. Consider that and compare that to the government we had in the 1790s, or the very early days of the 19th century. Or the late days of the 19th century, or the early 20th century. It all looks very, very different. The way that the political order looks changes over time, and it changes with power grabs, and it changes with audacious campaigns, and it changes with shenanigans, and it changes with illegality, and it changes with rigging elections, and it changes with this branch of government just seizing power from some other branch of government, and this party just suppressing some other political party. And that stuff really does happen. Last night, I was sitting out with a cigar and a drink, and I was reading the Constitution of Athens. I was going back through some of my ancient Greek reading just to try to get out of the tumult and the chaos of the modern news cycle and try to get a little bit of a broader perspective. And when you just read how the government of Athens changed over time, it's a comedy of errors, it's a parade of villains, it's all sorts of things where people come in and they say, yeah, that's the way your government operated before, this is the way it operates now. And you might say that's unjust and you might not like it. Well, I don't give a damn because I took the power. And that didn't just happen in ancient Greece. That happens in every single state throughout human history, and it's happening here in the United States. What we have seen play out over the last 2 days is the FBI at the direction of the DOJ, which has become highly partisan, and it's clearly at the direction of the ruling party in the White House. They are saying, hey, we're going to do some unprecedented stuff. And we're going to do it, and you're going to think it's unjust, and you're going to think it's breaking the norms, and you're going to think that it's a ruthless power grab. Tough. What are you going to do about it? And the answer from the squishes, and the answer from people who are just not rising to the call of this present moment is, oh, let's just let it play out. Nothing to see here. Move along, move along. Senator Tim Scott, who I like personally, he's a nice guy personally, he just went on CBS and he was asked about the raid on Mar-a-Lago. And I think he gave the single worst answer possible.
There's been lots of questions before this raid about whether or not the FBI is doing their job apolitical. And we don't know the answer to that question yet. This is probably doubts
about the FBI.
This is going to raise more questions, in my opinion. We need to let this play out and see exactly what happens, but we should all have been stunned and surprised and shocked at what happened yesterday. The real question is, A, what is the Federal Records Act? And B, what are we talking about? It has to be something of incredible magnitude for at least my side of the aisle to say that was warranted. Without that, I think we're going to find ourselves in a very big mess as it relates to the credibility of the FBI.
Well, so you don't have any concern that they're going to find anything at the Mar-a-Lago?
Well, I think we should really, as opposed to rushing to judgment, the most important thing that we can do is let it play out, because I have no idea what they were looking for, and I don't think anybody knows what they were looking for. On that point, I think...
Let it play out? Let it play out? No, we do not, in fact, need to let it play out. We do not need to worry about rushing to judgment. We're not rushing to judgment. We've seen this play out for 6 years now, starting with the Russian collusion hoax. We've seen the FBI and the DOJ being wielded by the Democrats specifically against this guy, against Donald Trump, to spy on his campaign, to try to stop him from becoming president, to try to oust him when he was president, now to try to stop him from running for president again. I've seen enough. We're not rushing to judgment. This is 6 years in the making. And it's so frustrating to hear Tim Scott say this, because the first part of his answer is very good. He says, we're shocked. This is ridiculous. This is terrible. This is awful. But let's not do anything about it. Let's not do anything. Let's not even rush to conclusions. Let's just let the DOJ and the FBI and the Biden White House destroy Donald Trump's presidential campaign and wield arbitrary, capricious, outrageous power over their political opponents and weaponize the federal law enforcement agencies to just go after and destroy Republicans. And then, once we see how it plays out, then maybe we can think about doing something. Then maybe we can think about fighting back. Are you kidding me? What a worthless answer. It's even worse than saying it's not a big deal. Because you're saying it is a big deal, but we shouldn't do anything about it. Come on, man. Come on, I sound like Joe Biden. Come on, man. I'm glad you liked that clip. Now, make sure you ring the bell and subscribe. We've now got over 1 million subscribers. I'm very grateful for that. That's cool that this has become one of the largest YouTube channels out there, but I want it to be the very largest. I want it to be number one. That means I need 1 billion subscribers, okay? And that's gonna be a little bit of a lift, but we can do it. Make sure, send it to your friends. Bing, bang, subscribe, ding, dong, whatever you gotta do. We'll see you next time.